Hey beautiful souls, and welcome back to the channel and our Setback to Comeback series, Rising Stronger Every Time. In episode 1, we talked about the setback that changed everything. In episode 3, we're going to go deep into emotional healing. But today, in episode 2, we're going to challenge the belief that leads some of us to believe that failure means it's over. Because what if I told you failure isn't the end of the road? It's just the beginning of something better. A better road that leads to better things. So let's talk about it for a minute. Now let's be honest, right? Most of us were raised to fear failure. Why? Because if you came home from school, for example, and you told your parents that you failed a test, well, guess what? Guess what that meant? It meant, oh, you are in trouble. Then we grew up, got into relationships, we got into friendships, and when those fail again, guess what? Now we're ashamed. God forbid, then you dare to open up a business, and that failed. Guess what? Now you feel like a fraud. So from the time we were children, failure has been framed as a bad thing, something to avoid, something to hide, but most painfully, something that defines us. So now what happens is when you finally go for something and it doesn't work out, instead of seeing it as an opportunity to pivot and try again, you crash. Not just in results, but in your identity. You say things like, I'm not good enough. Maybe I should have never tried. What was I thinking? But let me offer you a new perspective. Failure isn't a conclusion. It's an introduction to the real you. The real you who is strong, brilliant, tenacious, dare to try, and brave. This reminds me of someone I knew and still know very well. Someone who poured everything into a dream, years of hard work, sleepless nights, faith, effort, you name it. And I mean, this person launched a business that she believed in, and yet it flopped. Bills began to pile up, her confidence disappeared, and then she went into hiding. She went into solitude and isolation, not just from the world, but from herself. And you know who that person was? Me. Yes, that person was me. And I've failed deeply, publicly, and painfully. And yes, it shattered me until I realized something life-changing. I realized that sometimes failure is the only thing strong enough to help you break free from who you are not, so that you can become who you are. And let me tell you, that failure, it made me reflect. It made me reflect. It made me start asking different questions. It humbled me. It refined me. And eventually, it redirected me. I share that small part of my life story in the hopes that it will help you to flip the script and ask yourself the question, what if failure is actually one of your greatest teachers? And I've discovered that failure teaches us, number one, what doesn't work so we can find what does work. Failure reveals to us the areas where we are growing or not, because failure pushes your limits. And failure also shows us what really matters, and it strips away what doesn't. So always remember, failure is feedback, not a full stop. Failure is a mirror, not a monster. Failure is also a fertilizer and not a final judgment. And if you had the opportunity to ask any of the world's most successful people about failure, I'm sure they will tell you that they probably have failed more times than you've ever tried. For example, Oprah Winfrey, fired from her first TV job for being too emotional. Now, one of the world's most influential people on the planet. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. Go figure. And now, the greatest of all times in his field. And then we have Tyler Perry. His first plays, they all flopped. Was at one point homeless, and so he lived in his car. To now, a media empire with his own studios that help others to shine and become successful. And yes, like myself and many of you out there, these people failed loudly. But what made them different? Well, they didn't let failure define them. Instead, they allowed their failures to refine them. And you can too. Because failure reveals who you are and what you are really made of. So when you fail, you're faced with two choices. Number one, you can either shrink and stay stuck, or you can reflect, rise up, and try again. You see, failure reveals your resilience. It tests your commitment. It forces you to ask the hard questions. Questions like, why am I doing this? What am I willing to fight for? And is this truly aligned with my purpose? Failure has a way of shaking you free from illusions. And if you let it, it will shape you into someone unshakable and unstoppable. But realistically, how do you start again? How do you begin again? Let's say you failed. Maybe you feel like you've hit rock bottom. What now? Yes, I've failed and I feel horrible. So now what? What do I do? From experience, I would say number one, take the time to pause and process. Yes, pause, rest, process. Feel everything. Don't fake it. Grieve if you need to. Take all the time you need to heal and then recalibrate. But just don't stay there. Make up your mind and say to yourself, yes, I'm here right now, but I refuse to stay here. Next, speak lovingly to yourself. Give yourself lots of grace and ask better questions. Instead of asking, why me? Ask instead, what is this trying to teach me? Where did I grow through this? Because believe it or not, you've changed. Something changed inside of you. And then ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? Then dust your feet off, tighten your belt, and start again. Take small but steady steps. You don't have to rebuild overnight. You just need to begin again. One step, one act of faith, one page at a time. And remember, you're not starting from scratch. Oh, that's so beautiful that you are not starting over from scratch. No, my friend, you are now starting from experience. And your future still matters. So allow me to speak directly to your heart right now. That dream that failed, it doesn't mean you failed. That door that closed, it doesn't mean there's not a better door waiting for you. That moment of pain, it doesn't mean your story is over. And that person that broke your heart and walked away, leaving you hurt and devastated, well, that doesn't mean that it's over for you. Because I can assure you, one day the right person will come along and they will see your worth. They will see your value and they will love you unconditionally. In fact, I believe with all my heart that failures are just beginnings. Failure isn't your identity. It's a chapter. It's a detour. It's the setup for your comeback story. So know that your future still matters. Your voice still matters. Your dream, in whatever new form it takes, still matters. So let me ask you this. Has a failure ever led to something unexpectedly good in your life? How did you learn to see failure differently? I would love to hear those stories from you. So please share them. Share your story, because someone probably is scrolling through these comments right now, looking for hope, looking for guidance, looking for encouragement. And your story, you know that one? The one you thought was just pain, agony, and suffering. That story might just be the exact encouragement that person needs today. So do share, and let's lift each other up. Let's normalize failure, and let's rewrite what it actually means. Because failure, as we know now, is not the end. It's just the beginning. And your comeback is already unfolding. So keep believing, keep rising, and I'll see you next time.